Right, welcome ladies and gents to my review of Argylle. This movie got absolutely trashed by critics. Started out at 32% on Rotten Tomatoes, up to 37%. I haven't checked lately, so I don't know if it's gone up even further. But it was alright. It was a good movie. The trailers, right, so, interesting. The trailers don't sell the film well. But I also don't think you can really do much else with the trailers, because there's a lot of twists and turns. This will be as non-spoilery as possible for you guys. But there's a lot of twists and turns which, realistically, if you're looking at it, I do think they did the best that they possibly could. There's maybe another way to advertise it, but look, all in all, I didn't feel robbed. I didn't feel cheated. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was very fun. I think a good prerequisite... My light's just gone off. I think a good prerequisite... Just go with the flow. In terms of who is going to like this kind of movie, right? Will be if you enjoyed Kingsman and if you enjoyed Kingsman 2. If you liked those movies, I think you will have a good time with this. Is it as good as Kingsman? No. No. It's not. But it's a good movie. It's a good mid-tier popcorn flick. It's not a blockbuster popcorn flick. It's just a good mid-tier film. Good mid-tier film. It's funny, self-contained, it's enjoyable. It's not part of a franchise. Well acted all round. But it's not franchise bait. You can't. It's just not franchise bait. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So, let's take a look at this, right? So, because I obviously looked at the critics' reviews before going into this, as I do here on this channel. I do that from time to time. I take a look at stuff and I review them for you guys, so you know going into it, and then I do my own reviews. Some of the stuff that was coming out of those reviews, I'm failing to understand where it came from, because a lot of people were like, it just doesn't really know what it is. It's just too twisty and turny and bit, and it's soulless. No, there's clearly a story here. Like, very clearly a story. I mean, it's a spy thriller. It's a very clear story. I don't understand anyone that watched this movie and didn't understand the narrative. Because a lot of people, critics, and it genuinely makes me wonder if they finished the movie. Because a lot of critics are critiquing the narrative, saying that there's no story. There's a very clear story here. And it's not that difficult to get. It's not that difficult to get. So I don't really understand what was going on there, but look, whatever, it is what it is. We've got Bryce Dallas Howard in the lead role. Henry Cavill is in this. Loads of people said he's in it for like 5 minutes. No, he's in it for quite a lot, actually, to be fair. In quite a fun, not ingenious, but a funny way. Not funny, haha, like a fun way. He's in it in a fun way. His inclusion is fun. Is it a glorified cameo for Henry Cavill? No, not really, actually. There's very clear purpose for him being in this film. It's not what you expect it to be, but it's a very clear purpose. And I think, like I said, I think the trailer did the best that they possibly could at advertising the movie kind of in that way. We've got Sam Rockwell, great. I really like him, actually. I think he's a very underrated actor. I think he's great. I think he's really, really good. He's very good in this. Very, very good in this. And I like him. I just think he's a good actor. He doesn't really get that many parts. I know this is where people go, I saw him in this, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Yeah, I know he's in lots of stuff. But I like him as an actor. I'd like to see him in more things. John Cena is a glorified cameo. That's a bit part. I would say a little bit more than the Henry Cavill one anyway. Bryan Cranston does a great job as the head of the spy organisation, the Directorate, I think. I'm trying to think of other people that were in this, to be fair. There wasn't like a ton of people. It's not like a massive amount of celebrity names to get you involved. But everyone does a very good job of what they're given. The action's actually pretty damn good, to be fair. It's like some parts is over CG, but not in like an offensive way. Like, oh, you're looking at and it's just a clear green screen. Like, really, really offensive. It's not like that. This film's charming. That's probably the best word I can use in terms of how it's shot and stuff like that. It's a charming film. It's a good mid-tier popcorn flick. and there's charm behind it. It's good. Bryce Dallas Howard does a pretty damn good job with the material, actually. She's given quite a difficult character to work with at certain times, and I think she does a pretty good job. The script could have been shortened. So here's my main issues with this film, right? You could probably chop 20 minutes off this film. This is like 2 hours, 20 minutes. You could definitely chop 20-minute runtime off this film, and it would be better for it. It'd be a much tighter film. And I do wonder, because this is Universal, I think, and Apple together. I think the main issue is and I didn't know it was Apple, but I think Apple are doing what Netflix does and giving the creator a little bit too much leeway to get them to come in and work for them. And I think Matthew Vaughn was given just a little bit too much leeway. Should have clamped down on that just a little bit more, refined it just a little bit more, and it would have been a much tighter film. But the thing is, it didn't feel like it dragged anyway. Like, at all. There's some elongated action sequences, and it's only when you step back from the film you go, oh yeah, you could have done that. It wasn't like I'm sat there going, oh, you know, how long is this? Oh, I need to, what's going. It wasn't any of that. Like, it was a breezy pace, but it's when you really objectively analyse the film, it could have done with about 20 minutes taken off of it. Maybe less, maybe not 20 minutes. Don't quote me on that, because some people will go, oh, 20 minutes, that's a really shit film then. No, like, it's a good film. Like, it's enjoyable as it is. The locations are good. It's all just really good fun. Dua Lipa's smoking hot in it. It's a good, fun film. It's I tell you what, like, I need to go back and re-watch or take a look at the rating for Kingsman, because this was a 12A in the UK, which means like kids under 12 can go if they're accompanied by an adult. I don't know what that is in the States, maybe like a PG-13, I guess. And I think Kingsman had, you know, a fair amount of blood and gore. And so I think if you're going to compare it to those kind of films, which is, you know, it's its main comparison, isn't it? Right? It's like a childishy version of Kingsman, I guess. But again, like I said, prerequisites. If you didn't like Kingsman, you're not going to like this anyway. Like, it's very Matthew Vaughn. So if you didn't like Kingsman, you're not going to like this by any stretch of the imagination. But I had a good time with it. It was a good film. For me, it nowhere near as bad as what the critics are making out. If you were to look at critics on Rotten Tomatoes, The Marvels has like, I don't know, 68, 70% rating. This had like sub 40%. You'd think this was the worst pile of crap ever. It is what it is. It's a good, fun spy thriller movie, self-contained, no bigger than it needs to be. It just is what it is. It's a fun action film. Is it great? No. Like, is it going to win awards? No, of course not. But it's a good film. It's a good popcorn flick. There's nothing else at the moment, and it's a good entertainment. It'd be a pretty decent film you could take your kids to. They'd have a good time with it, I think. Non-offensive in any way, shape, or form. Just, yeah, literally non-offensive. So, I'd recommend it. I genuinely would recommend it. My local theatre now has like really cheap theatre prices. It's like £5.99, which is like dirt cheap. So I definitely did not begrudge paying for this. I had a good time. Would recommend. If you've seen it, leave your thoughts down below. Would love to hear it. Give the video a like and a share. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.